Alright, so they're leading off with a Gyarados. I'll send in my lead off. And I'm gonna do... They're gonna swap out to Gastrodon. I swap out to Sawsbuck. I use Return. They use Toxic. I'll go ahead and do another Return. Just about to take out Gastrodon. They use Scald. And then I'm going to, I think I'll do another Return to knock it out. Oh, they swapped out with a Hippowdon. Use Return. It does pretty decent damage because Hippowdon tends to be pretty tanky. So Toxic is slowly going to wear me out along with the Sand. I do another Return, which does some pretty decent damage. He uses Stone Edge, but it misses. And he swaps out to a Gastrodon. I go ahead and do another Return, which takes down his Gastrodon. And then Sawbuck is going to be taken down with the Toxic. And I'll send in my fossil Pokemon. They send in Sunflora. So I use Curse to reduce my speed but increase my attack and defense. They use Sunny Day, so I'm expecting a Solar Beam. I go ahead and use a Rock Slide. And then I'm expecting another Solar Beam, so I swap out to my Standler, which has Sap Sipper, which increases my attack power. And they do Earth Power. My opponent's like, wow, fine then. Now I use an Earthquake, which just about takes down Sunflora. Now I use Sucker Punch to finish off Sunflora. He sends in a Weavile. He does Icicle Crash, which takes out my Standler. I send in this one. He swaps out and sends in Hippowdon again. I use Toxic. Sandstorm isn't really going to affect me too bad because I have leftovers. My opponent says, take some sand, bro. Which, I don't understand that because his sand wasn't really doing anything. And he decides to use Toxic as well, but his Hippowdon is going to go down sooner than my Pokemon.
Take a Toxic, bro!
And he sends in Wormadam. I'll swap and put in my Weezing. He uses Protect, which fails because I didn't attack. He uses Protect again, which it pulls through. And I use Sludge Bomb, which fails because of Protect. And then
I'm done. Blank this wheezing.
language. And I say, not yet. And then he's like, whoa. And he has signal beam, which confuses my wheezing. My wheezing hurts itself with confusion. He uses signal beam again. I'm gonna try to get over my confusion. He's wheezing snaps out of confusion, and he does a sludge bomb, which takes down Wormadam. So I have 4 Pokemon. He's got down to 2. He sends in Gyarados, which intimidates me to reduce my attack power. He Mega Forms. I use Protect to figure out what he's going to try to do. And he uses Substitute. So he's probably predicting a Toxic attack.
Get wrecked!
I use Sludge Bomb, which takes down his Substitute. And I use Protect. And he tries to use Crunch. He uses Crunch again, but my Weezing is able to pull through. So I use Will-O-Wisp to reduce his attack power. And he's going to steadily get burned damage. That's
Blank, you blank!
and then I say language. And he's like,
Blank, I'm mad right now. Been losing the hex for 3 games now.
and then he sends in Weavile. I use Protect, but it failed. Because he didn't attack. I use Protect again, and it works. He uses Knockoff, which finishes off my Weezing. I send in my Fossil Pokemon. He uses Knockoff, which finishes it off. And I send in my Water type. And he sends in his... He swaps out with his Gyarados. Expecting maybe like a Toxic, which he was correct in that. Now I use Protect. And then that takes down his Gyarados. He sends in his Weavile. Uses Knockoff. I use Toxic. So I just pretty much have to outlast his Pokemon at this point. So I retreat and send in my last Pokemon. He uses knockoff, which isn't very effective. And then the toxic starts taking effect. I go ahead and Mega my Torpedo, get his Mega form going. He uses knockoff again. Now I use Waterfall, which just about takes out his Weavile. And the Toxic almost takes out his Weavile.
Blank! Should have blocked into low kick.
And then he quit the match, and that's how it ended. Yeah, he said he drops the F-bomb and says he should have blocked into low kick. So he had a very potty mouth, so hence the title of that.